Hello, America. I'm Mark Levin. This is Life, Liberty, and Levin. Mr. President, it's an honor to see you. Thank you for taking the time. Let me tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not promoting Bob Woodward's book. I'm not promoting any of these books. I'm not looking for headlines. An honest-to-God interview where you can provide information to the American people and differentiate yourself from your opponent. And it may shock the American people to know there's actually two candidates in this race. The press covers you, but they don't much cover Joe Biden very much. I want to start with the vaccine. I'm watching the news coverage, and for some reason the media and the Democrats are very hostile to a vaccine. They're very hostile to a vaccine coming out quickly. They're trying to politicize this. The 9 CEOs of these pharmaceutical companies, including Pfizer, have said, we're not cutting corners, we're following the science. Why do you think there's such hostility from the Democrat Party, from my perspective, in the media, about getting a vaccine in record time?
They want to denigrate it. This started about 3 weeks ago because they started hearing rumors that we were going to have this vaccine in super record time. So instead of saying, wow, that's great, it's going to save a lot of lives and people are going to be protected and this whole thing will end faster, it's going to end anyway, but it's going to end faster, they started denigrating. I noticed in about 3 weeks they started denigrating it. And the reason they're doing that is because they think I'll get credit if we have a vaccine anywhere near the election, but certainly before the election. But essentially we're there now anyway, and we're ready to distribute very rapidly. So what they're doing is trying to make it like, that's not such a big deal, when actually it's one of the greatest things that anyone's done. And I'm not saying me, I'm saying anyone. It's so incredible, it's so important. And they've done it in record time. If this were a typical administration, this vaccine wouldn't be ready for 2 or 3 years because of the FDA process. I have totally changed the FDA process. Same safety, but the speed is from a different world. And we should have the vaccine approved very soon, up and approved. Plus, we have many companies doing it, great companies, Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, Moderna. We have many companies doing it, and almost all of them are having these, so far, seemingly very good results. They're in phase 3 trial. That means we're right at the end of the process, really looking good, and could be really early. And so all of a sudden, instead of saying, wow, this is great news, we're going to have the vaccine early, they're saying, oh, the vaccine's coming out too soon, it's going to be unsafe, it's going to be, all of these things has nothing to do with the safety. These are great companies. They're not going to put themselves on the line. They would have tremendous liability. So it's a tremendous thing that they've done and that we've all done together. Then we're ready to distribute it very quickly. And we'll do our senior citizens first, the most vulnerable, as you can imagine, because they're really, as it turns out, we know the disease now, the most vulnerable are senior citizens by far, especially if they have a problem with the heart or if they have diabetes or something, those two in particular. And we'll take care of people. And you would think they'd be happy and thrilled and jumping up and down. Instead, it's just a terrible situation between that, the fake ballots, all of the different things that are going, this whole ballot thing, I call it unsolicited ballots. They used to say universal, but nobody knows what that means. Unsolicited, meaning people didn't solicit these ballots. People are saying, hey, what's going on? I just got a whole patch of ballots. They have no idea who they're sending them to. They're sending them to the wrong people. The military got ballots and they put my name, and I think they put Mike Pence with somebody else. They had it all separated. It's so messed up, you have no idea. And they know it. They know it. They want it to be a mess. And it's very sad to see.
I want to get back to that, but one of the things that troubles me also is it's part of the campaign effort by the Harris-Biden administration, as I understand it, by that campaign, to blame you for deaths that result from this virus. Now, I have here memos that went out in March in New York, in Michigan, in New Jersey, in other states, big population states,
Right.
where the governors ordered coronavirus positive patients into nursing homes, into assisted living homes. You didn't order that. They ordered it. The last data I saw says over 40% of the deaths have resulted from that. Has Joe Biden criticized a single one of those governors? Has
No.
Joe Biden criticized that policy at all?
Look, you know it, and I know it. Joe doesn't know he's alive. If you asked him that question without teleprompters, I don't think he could answer the question. And it's a sad thing that's going on. The whole thing is a sad thing. And you said it before, the Harris-Biden administration. Who would ever say such a thing? I mean, I've been here for quite a while now, almost 4 years, if you can believe it. I never said the Pence-Trump administration. You don't say that. It's like so unnatural. Who would say what he said? You would think it's impossible unless there's something wrong. It was compounded when she went out and said she puts her name first. She's always putting her name first. By the way, she's the most liberal person in the Senate. We've got the most liberal person in the Senate. So it's a sad thing that's going on, and hopefully we're going to have a big victory. And I think when we have the victory, it's going to calm down because they're getting tired of losing. We've been beating them at every front, and they're getting tired of losing. But it's going to be an interesting period of time. I do think, and I go back to it all the time because I go to the different states. We go to Michigan, we go to Ohio, we go to every state. But the states where they have the ballots, which is particularly Pennsylvania and Nevada and North Carolina, where they have this whole tremendous amounts of ballots piling in. Nobody knows where they're being sent. I don't think the senders know, or maybe even worse, they probably do know. I think that's going to cause a tremendous disruption on November 3rd.
Let me get into this with you, the mail-in ballots in the states, because I've looked at this over the years, even before now. Notice the push for mail-in ballots starting in about April.
Right.
All of a sudden, mail-in ballots, that's the gold standard. Now we know state from state from state. Many of them have never experienced it. Many of them have never experienced the number. The states can't handle it. So here's my theory. Let me get your thoughts on this. Election night comes, and you're the winner. And they're going to say, no, he's not the winner. They're going to bring these lawsuits on the mail-in ballots. We saw them do this in California and other places.
Absolutely.
Election night, let's say you're behind and you say, wait a minute, we've got millions of ballots out there. You guys put this process in place. Now we want to wait and see. Then they're going to call you a dictator. So either way, they seem to be setting up a narrative. But aren't they basically undermining the integrity of the electoral process?
Look, they know it doesn't work because there have been many races using this over the last 14, 15 months. And I heard there was one yesterday or the day before yesterday. The ballots are so mixed up. They have millions of ballots going out on little races like in New York or the one in Paterson, New Jersey or Virginia or many other locations. And we're now finding out about the one from over the last couple of days. We're talking about numbers like 30% and 40% off. We're not talking 1%, which is too much because you can lose by 1%. 1% is a lot. But they're off by 30, 40% sometimes. Ballots are missing, there's fraud. Now they have a new thing where they don't want to verify signatures because that makes it easier so you don't have to verify a signature. You see that one in Nevada. It's a very tough situation. I will tell you this. You go out, you look at these governors, and you look at, I don't want to insult anybody, but take a look at some of these governors that are in charge of the ballots. Beyond partisan, in many cases political hacks, and it's going to be a very sad day. Look, people should go. Now, if they have an absentee ballot or, I call it a solicited ballot, where I like the word solicited, unsolicited, because people understand it. But you have a solicited ballot or an absentee ballot, that's good because you request a ballot, the ballot gets sent to you, you send it back. You have a very good chance that that's going to work out just fine. But where they just dump millions of ballots all over the country, it's not going to work. It's going to be a disaster, and they know it. They know it's not going to work. It doesn't even work when you have 30,000 ballots, and we're talking about many millions of ballots. It's going to be mayhem, it's going to be bedlam, and this is what they want.
And Mr. President, their schemes are out front, but they've been scheming for months. They've been game playing to make sure that you're not president. They're bragging about it to the newspapers. You see article after article about a coup against you. You see article after article about an insurrection against you. You see the farm team out there burning our cities and so forth and so on, and they're threatening even worse, the never-Trumpers too. What do you say to the American people about what you're seeing with the Democrat Party, the violence, the media kind of censoring on behalf of the
Not
Democratic
kinda.
Party. Very much, yeah.
I've never seen anything like it.
What is-
and
what
it
is
was
your
bad
message?
before.
Yeah.
But it's gotten to a point, they're stone cold dishonest. The New York Times is stone cold dishonest. Although I must tell you, they gave me great credit for the recent deal with Bahrain and UAE and Israel. I couldn't believe it. They gave me unbelievable. I couldn't have written it better myself. Tom Friedman gave us great credit. But outside of that, literally one story, and we've done things, I mean, that's very significant, but I've done things possibly much more significant than that. They don't give credit. The Washington Post is a disaster. You can't get a good story. It's disgusting. And then you go to ABC. NBC probably is the worst of all. Comcast, I call it Comcast, not Comcast. It's a con job because they always try and protect their name, like how legitimate they are. NBC is horrible. CBS is a disaster. And then you go into the real beauties, that MSDNC, as we call it, and of course CNN. But at least CNN, you know where they're coming from. You know they're stone cold dishonest. At least you know that. So it's a sad thing. I mean, it's a very sad thing. Fortunately, local press is extremely good. I get great local. Whenever I stop for a speech, I do one or two local reporters. These are the greatest stories. It's like unbelievable. They cover it so good. Actually, they're almost more enthusiastic than I am. And so we have that. We have some honest media. Fox is good, but Fox is not what it was. I'll be very honest with you. I don't know. They've become politically correct. You know, they think it's wonderful. They have more Democrats on than they have Republicans. I'm complaining about it all the time. You know, with all of that being said, we're doing much better than we did 4 years ago, and there's much more enthusiasm. You see these boat parades, truck parades, tractor parades. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We have nothing to do with it. And the enthusiasm is much greater, and I think that's because we've really done a great job. You know, we've done things that nobody thought possible.